Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Understanding the Reason. I'm your host, Jerome Majette. Super excited, man, because tomorrow is the big day. Tomorrow is April 8th, the total solar eclipse, man. I can't wait. Got my glasses, and me and my wife and my daughter, we're going to drive a couple miles to be in the path of totality and really enjoy this amazing event. This is a once-in-a-lifetime event. It's not going to happen again for probably about another 150 years, but we're going to be there. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it as well. Before we get started, because we're going to talk about that, before we get started, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you do pick up our book, Understanding the Reason God Made Man, What Made Him Do It, and pick up our shirt, please send me a selfie over on my Facebook Messenger. And man, look, and I will shout you out at the end of our videos. We typically do it twice. We do one in the beginning, like around this time. But today we're not going to do it. We're just going to reserve it for the end of the video. So please stick around and help me show some love to people who take the time to really, show us love, okay? And then if you do participate, we will do the same thing for you, okay? All right, so let's get right into it. So we've been going through my book, 18 years of research, studying the scriptures and putting it up against these theories and scientific data, just so that we know for sure with a certain amount of confidence why we're here. Why are we here? What is our purpose? And what happens next? And that's what we've been after. We've been on that journey. We've been going through the book chapter by chapter, looking at these different things and coming to, a reality that, man, God created us. He is the one who created us. And tomorrow's event is going to be what many people believe the second part of a two-part message, right? And so we know that God sends messengers. He sends pastors and preachers and ministers and missionaries and, the fivefold ministry to bring messages and things to humanity. But how many of us know that God uses the heavens? He uses the heavens. The heavens declare the glory of God. So he uses these stars and the moon and the sun to speak to us, right? So how do we know that that's true? This is how we know. Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. And God said, let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night, and let them be signs and tokens of God's provident care, and to mark seasons, days, and years, and let them be lights in the expanse of the sky to give light upon the earth. And it was so. So God uses the sun and the moon and the stars to communicate with us. I believe that's brilliant because nobody can manipulate the stars. Nobody can manipulate the moon or the sun. So that's number one. That's proof that God exists. That's the first thing. The second thing is it's these signs point to something that's going to happen. So, for example, I believe that the 2017 message that was in that solar eclipse is really something that we have to pay attention to, because what it did was it came through our west coast and it exited out of our east coast, right? It literally came through Salem, Oregon, and the path was only 60 to 70 miles. But here's the significance. It literally tracked over 7 cities of Salem. The word Salem is a derivative from Jerusalem, and it is the definition, the English definition, or the English word for shalom. Shalom it means peace. The Hebrew word peace, right? The fact that it was 7 cities of Salem, the number 7 is the number of God. It is the number of completion. So that being said, that event was pointing to the Prince of Peace. Now, how do we know? Here's what the scripture says. Over in Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. For to us a son is born. To us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders. and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Man, so the Prince of Peace, that event was in the sky, right? Was announcing that the Prince of Peace is on his way. The true judge is on his way, right? Now, tomorrow, that event is going to go from from our southern coast and go exit out of our northern coast. Well, it's going to touch two cities of Nineveh. And if you know anything about Jonah, about the book of Jonah, or if you've ever read it, Jonah was a Hebrew prophet, and he was told to go minister to the Ninevites, right? Go to Nineveh and minister to the Ninevites and warn them that judgment was on its way. And instead of that, he jumped on a ship and tried to sail in the opposite direction. And so God had to send a storm on the water. The ship almost sank. And he knew, look, Jonah knew that he was wrong. So he ended up getting tossed off the ship. A fish swallowed him. And look, just to prove that that's possible, I put a picture. I put a picture so that I got this picture. This guy got swallowed by a whale recently too, and the whale spit him out. I was reading his testimony about this thing, man. His description of what happened. It was I didn't want to laugh, but it was kind of funny. But anyway, the Ninevites ended up listening to the warning, heeding the warning, and God stayed his hand of judgment on their society. And we're talking about people that were horrible, the worst kind of people ever, man. They were demon worshipers. They were barbaric. They were immoral. And God was just, their sin had come up before the judge, and he was just going to wipe them out. Wipe them out, man. So what is all this saying? What this is saying is that we literally have an event that's going to happen tomorrow to announce that not just we already had the judges coming. Now we're going to see an event that's saying the judge is bringing judgment with them. Judgment is coming. Judgment is coming. Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. And since God is the God of witnesses, so the scripture says, out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let every word be established. Later on in the month, there's going to be a double emergence event, which hasn't happened in our lifetime. And it won't happen for another 200 years. There's going to be an estimated trillion cicadas that are going to emerge late in the latter part of April. And it's going to be touching 16 cities, or states, rather. 16 states will be affected by this. A trillion cicadas. Whenever you see a mass amount of insects like that, that's a harbinger. That's a warning. That's a warning. Usually it's sent in judgment. If you read about, how God judged the Egyptian society for, their treatment of the Jews and stuff like that, and they kept them as slaves, and Pharaoh didn't want to let them go. Well, he used insects to destroy, their crops and to bring all kinds of diseases and stuff like that on them. So now the cicadas they're not, they're harmless, but a trillion of them, they're going to be everywhere. They're going to be everywhere. And it's disgusting. I've been through something similar to that. We had cicadas. They were in the ground for like 17 years. And then all of a sudden they emerged. And man, we had them all over. They were everywhere, man. They were everywhere. But a trillion of them, that's saying something, man. And then the event tomorrow, the solar eclipse is going to start in Eagles Pass. Why is that significant? Well, we have millions of people in our country that we don't even know who they are. We don't know who they are. We don't know what they're doing here. Some of them came for a better life, but there's some people within that mix that, man, they're plotting and planning to do something pretty bad. I believe that with all my heart, because the United States, we have fought wars in their countries and spilled innocent blood in their countries. So why wouldn't somebody want payback? Now that's just me talking, man. That's just me. It might be some conspiracy theory kind of stuff, but I just think that something big is going to happen. One of the things also, this X that's going to be formed by the convergence of these two these two paths, right? That this X is over a fault line, the New Madrid fault line. I think, me personally, I think that's something possibly could happen seismically for this thing, right? I don't know, man. I'm just saying, be prepared. But more importantly, enjoy your family, enjoy this amazing event, man. Let's get right. Let's get our hearts right. Let's prepare ourselves for the coming of the King, man, because I'm telling you, he's in the scripture says, and the government will be upon his shoulders, right? So, and then Jesus actually said this, behold, I come quickly, and my reward is in my hand to give every person according to what their work shall be. Man, we need to be ready for this thing, bro. I'm telling you. And, we're going to talk some more about it later on. As we travel in the book, we're going to get, more familiar with these scriptures. We're going to talk about, why did God put us here? Why did he put us here? What's the purpose for this life? So, man, let's talk about it some more. Thank you very much for viewing the video. Also, man, come back for tomorrow's video and bring your comments with you. Tell me how things went. If you, what you guys did, man, I'd love to hear your stories and stuff like that, your comments. Also, please stick around and help us show some love to the person we selected. And I certainly will appreciate it. God bless you guys, man. We'll see you on the next video. Peace.